2 anthems too many. So this year, the NFL has decided to follow the national anthem with Lift Every Voice and Sing. And I don't know if I wasn't aware of it or if I just didn't care about it, but Bill Maher talked about it this week, and he talked about how he wasn't a fan of it. Excuse me. It's too divisive. And I go, well, maybe. But then I also think about what else could happen. Like, just think about this, right? If we're playing the Black National Anthem at some point, I mean, this is America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Somebody's going to say that you are discriminating against me by not playing my national anthem. But then we're going to play theirs. And somebody else is going to come out and say, hey, y'all ain't playing my national anthem. And then we're going to play theirs. And then what's going to happen is we're going to spend an hour and a half playing national anthems before football games. And guess what? I'm a season ticket holder for the Atlanta Falcons. Guess what I don't really care about hearing before the game? The national anthem. I'm there for the football. I'm not a fan of forced patriotism. I'm not. I'm there for football. Now, I do what I do for my country because I chose to do what I'm doing for my country, and that's between me, my country, and God. And that's the same for you. But here's where I want to push back on Bill Maher. What you're saying is right. Like, at what point are we going to play everybody's anthem? Why are we even forcing these anthems? And playing the national anthem and then the Black National Anthem, it is divisive. It creates a divide. It says that, hey, I'm Black. This national anthem for America, it does not suffice for my identification as an American. I want to hear my anthem. And for one, let's be honest, the NFL playing Lift Every Voice and Sing is cracker crumbs. It is not actually a full meal. It's not getting anybody feel full. It's not accomplishing anything of significance. It is just a check in the box to say that, hey, social justice, change, we stand with you. I mean, stop it, NFL. Get the hell out of here. But the reason that some feel that Lift Every Voice and Sing needs to be played because of a lack of trust of institutions. Like Bill Maher, he pushed back on the re-education because that's what Whoopi Goldberg and them talked about on The View. But it's like, no, there needs to be a re-education here in America. I'm sorry, middle-aged white man, that you are fairly comfortable in your life and you trust everything that you've been given so that you run with it. But there are people who are like, how do you expect me to trust a country who told me they're going to give me 40 acres and a mule and I'm still waiting on it? How are you going to tell me to trust somebody who says they care about me, but then the second they get my vote, right, they create policies that go against what we thought we were going to get? How do you trust somebody? How do you trust a system that is now trying to remove slavery from school? They're trying to erase history. There's already been enough history erased by McGraw-Hill. Those bastards, they should be sued for malpractice. They should be shut down for giving out false information. Just like Facebook, just like Instagram, just like Twitter will cancel you for giving out misinformation. Why are we not canceling these textbooks for giving out misinformation? Because that's where it starts. Because then you have people like Bill Maher who has fallen in love with it. Because the thing about history, right? History is told by the victor. But that's not the truth. That's not the only story. I'm not saying that the person who wins the story is lying, but guess what? How many times have you been around people and you were there when it happened, but then you listen to them tell the story? And you go, bro, that ain't what happened. But what happens when that person is the only person who writes the book? That becomes truth. That becomes history. And you take generations of that, and then you get mad when somebody says, hey, bro, I want my history to be included. Me too, you know? Not like the Me Too movement with the women, but like just the core of it. Me too. I want to be involved too. I want to be a part of this too. I live here. I want my voice to be heard. I don't want to be silenced. I don't want to be shunned. I don't want to be shitted on just because I'm not a white man in my middle age. Bill Maher. I like Bill Maher. I'm a fan of Bill Maher. But the problem with Bill Maher is Bill Maher takes facts and he puts them in a vacuum. He goes, well, you know, what we're doing right now is pushing, we're pushing segregation. Well, are we truly pushing segregation? Or are we pushing information that people are afraid to fucking, I mean to say that people are afraid to take in, that people don't want to accept, so it is causing us to divide. Because there's a difference in forcing segregation because of color. There's a difference in forcing segregation because of status. There's a difference between forcing segregation because of gender or sex. But if I force segregation because we disagree, I don't want to lose that. I want to make you uncomfortable when I speak my truth. And guess what? I want you to do the same. If you are talking a truth that I'm not accepting, that I'm unaware of, and it makes me uncomfortable, I want that information. I think that so long we lived in a society where we were so politically correct, where we were like, let's not say anything to offend the others. Let's not talk about race. Let's not talk about politics. Let's talk about religion. It might bother somebody. And at some point, it finally bubbles up. And guess what? We got to talk about it. And don't get me wrong, like some of the things that are going on here where if you don't agree with me, I'm not talking to you. If you don't agree with me, I can't go on your show. If you don't agree with me, we can't live together. I can't get with that. No. But what I can get with is us disagreeing and still coexisting. We can still coexist because I'm more than confident most of us agree on more than we disagree on. We just gotta have a conversation. We just gotta have the conversation. We just gotta tell the whole story. And if I'm skeptical of you and I say, hey, hold on. You want to remove my black pride, my Latino pride, my woman pride, my LGBT pride from this? Because what you've done so far has not been inclusive to me and who I am and what I make up in this country. Oh, wait, hold on now. That ain't okay. Now that's not okay. Now, maybe the Star Spangled Banner should change. Maybe Adele should write a brand new song. John Legend, Chrissy Teigen. We should just take "We Are the World" and just make that the American National Anthem. Hell, I don't know, but maybe we should find something that's more encompassing of everybody. We should find something that actually relates to the people, because I mean, shit, we've been here, we've been functioning since the 1600s, right? We declared civil war in 1775. We ratified the Constitution in 1783. Man, it's 2021. Maybe do we need to take some of our traditions and update them? Maybe we should update our traditions, but I'm going to get back to that in a little bit when I talk about the Great Replacement, right? But is going back to segregation a bad thing? Because I think there's a difference between voluntary segregation and involuntary segregation, right? But going back to black ownership, is that a bad thing? I mean, because the idea of us ownership, American ownership, we do this together is beautiful. But the way that we're constructed, that those who already have are the ones who will have and continue to have. And those who have not will have to consume from those who have, because there's very little space for those who do not have to actually impact the markets in which those who have are already got. They already got it. You know what I mean? If you think about economies of scale, right? If I've been producing this for years and my my company is this big, right? And then you build something that's this big, um, your shit gonna cost more. And I can undercut you then buy you out. So sometimes when we talk about like, oh, no discrimination, segregation is bad. Yeah, it's bad when it's in your heart, but I'm not gonna say it's bad if it's in your business. I'm not gonna say having black owned business is bad. I'm not gonna say that having Mexican owned business is bad. I'm not gonna say having white owned business is bad. I'm not saying if you have something that only appeals to one group of people, because there are so many discriminatory processes in the world, and we just pick and choose the ones that we don't like. Yeah, we have no problem discriminating by merit. Well, that's discrimination. You didn't let me into your college because I wasn't good enough. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that's what happens. If you don't meet the standards of what I want, I can tell you no. And if you don't like that, you can say that's discrimination. Hold up, baby. Hold up, baby. I'm gonna say it twice. Hold up, baby. Hold up, baby. Yes, 4 times. If I don't think you are able to be a part of my organization, you can't be there. But not to keep going on it, but we need to focus on the good and not the bad, because to some degree, I do agree with Bill Maher. We need to become less divisive and more inclusive. We need to have conversations with one another that don't push us away but bring us together. And the problem is, what scares me is that we just keep jumping in these echo chambers. And we're going to keep jumping in these echo chambers, and it's going to be like the Tower of Babel, right? We're just going to keep building up, trying to get to heaven. But the problem is, once we get to our top and we step outside, the other person we talking to gonna be babbling. We're not gonna understand what they're saying. We're not gonna understand where they're coming from. Why? Because we have excommunicated ourselves from people who are different from us, who think different from us, who talk different from us. And that's where I say, you know what, discrimination is wrong. Even if you choose to discriminate. No, man, we can't do that. We can't be segregated. We have to we have to learn to coexist, right? If you can't have a melting pot if you got 5 pots. Ain't no melting. You're just boiling. And then eventually you're gonna boil over and you're gonna explode. And that's what we've seen historically in nations where you have people of different belief systems trying to coexist in the same space without coexisting together. That's what we can't do. When we stop living together, we stop learning from one another.